Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Locked in on the read and the speed. That's good work right there. Just a tap in. This from about 10 feet.
Rich, you got to tell me what happened. I covered my eyes on that one.
Another bogey. What else? We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough. Just persuade yourself that. Try not to look at the canyon and the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well. It's no snack, though.
Good stroke right there. That's a par, and stays at 1 under. Now to the par 5, 12th. Pretty big hole with a really big green.
And a really good blue area to the left, called water there. That's to be avoided off this tee, that's for sure. A good drive that avoids all of that. Then the hole is certainly reachable, but as you can see, water creeps in again, back right on this hole. So just don't get too cavalier here. A 5 wouldn't be the worst score. I know you want better, but believe me, seen many a 6s and 7s racked up here at 12.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Not quite enough on that one, couple of feet short.
Yeah, hopefully he taps it in. Not his best, but hopefully it's just 2 putts.
These putts keep the round together. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
That's a solid par putt. Now to the 13th hole, and, oh, I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill, but if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it.
They'll pay a little bit of a price for missing the fairway here, because from that rough, you cannot control the spin on the golf ball. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Stays at 1 under with that par. 14th hole here at Wolf Creek. Time to pull out the driver and as well the phone, because you want to take some pictures here. Yeah. What a spectacular view.
Stunning. You can see a whole panoramic sort of 360 degrees right around this golf course. Then when you flick back and actually look at the 14th hole, there's 6 bunkers, 3 really in play with the tee shot, as you can see, the other 3 just up by the green. Anything to the right of those is preferred, unless you want to be playing your second shot out of the canyon or the bunkers. Green should be fairly receptive, and 3 distinct portions, which is sort of a common trait here at Wolf Creek. That's sort of 3 different tier levels and that. But let's see, birdies are to be made at Wolf Creek, maybe even one here.
That is a really good shot, landing close to the flagstick. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. That's a birdie. And that's a good position from which to make a weekend move, comfortably inside the cut line, still with plenty of time left in this tournament. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Throwing darts just inside of 5 feet.
And just moving that much closer to the leader now, Rich.
Now to the 16th hole as we get set for the finishing stretch. And Frank, what's the best way to play this relatively short par 4?
Somehow you've got to straighten the hole up in your mind's eye, Rich. Just look all the way across that canyon and look like the hole was built straight, because really that's the way it should be played. If you start looking left and turning it into a dog leg, then all of a sudden bad things can happen. So look straight at the green. That's your line. Just try and bisect those 2 fairway bunkers.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Getting set now over the putt. Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Keeps the momentum going with that putt. Stays at 3 under. Now to the 17th, par 5 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club.
Yeah, dogleg left. Tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. It's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's sort of around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
.190 yards now for this second shot. I like the looks of this one. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. This is a good-sized putt, 27 feet away.
Had every chance of going in. Now it's that sneaky distance.
Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Frank, how does that par help his cause?
It certainly doesn't hurt it.
18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you'd think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, something 230, 240 yards off the tee in that vicinity is going to leave you just a flick wedge into this green. It is a rather narrow green, but from that distance, you'd expect to hit it close. Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Frank, this is where a golfer's mind is really tested here after hitting one out of bounds.
Well, on the flip side, though, Rich, you know what you've done wrong. So erase it. Time to put a good swing on it.
This will be the third shot after being penalized for going out of bounds.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Frank, how did he do there?
Well, he's inside 30 feet, but 27 feet, it's not exactly what you'd call close.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That's a round of 70 on the day. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present second round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. All set to go, we take you to the first hole. Stepping up to the first tee, sights set on posting another low number here in round 2. Beautiful looking shot right here. That is an absolute seed. I mean, he just ripped a bullet down the fairway. Oh my goodness, 375 yards. Second from an excellent lie. How it's done.
You take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Frank, this is the kind of start every player wants.
Yeah, swinging it well. Certainly hit the ball in the right place there. And good thing, too. He's actually putting well.
Frank, you need to be a bit of a rock climber just to get to this second tee. 445-yard hole. What a view.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Had a birdie here yesterday in there close. Great opportunity for another one. Will make birdie if he holds this putt. Oh, I thought he had that.
Now putt for par.
Settles in over the putt. That's a nice par right there, and a nice position to be in.
Rock solid, looking good.
Tied for the lead. Frank, 227 yards from the back tee here at the par 3 third. This is all you want.
Well, that's for sure. Plays a little longer than that, too, by virtue of playing uphill. Thin air might negate some of that. There's going to be a good shot just to keep the ball on the green. One of the smaller greens here. This ball never even looked like it was going down the fairway, hitting way right.
Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in.
The lie pretty much dictated the result. Thick rough, tough to get that all the way to the green.
Trying to muscle it out of there, but you had to be Schwarzenegger to get that one done. How about that shot? From that lie to get it that close, tremendous effort. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. 8-foot putt here. Well, double par here. Time to pick up and move on. Here at the fourth, 383 yards from the back tee. It's a dogleg right, but Frank, looking at all of those bunkers, you could really make a mess of this hole if you stray.
You can. That's why you've got to simplify it. Just something there that's going to find the fairway. Even like 3-wood and a wedge, that's really all this hole's going to require. Avoid the canyons on the left and in the desert, as well as just, I don't know how many bunkers there is on the right side. So a little bit of fairway up the left, find that there, and really, you should be looking at a birdie putt.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for 11.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Bogey here yesterday. Now this for birdie. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Good effort and good par putt. We're in the desert, partner. I need water.
You're going to get it here, Rich. Par 5 second hole's got a nice stream that runs down the left side, as well as cutting the fairway. There's a crop of some 3 bunkers down that right side. I want to avoid that, but, Rich, this hole isn't too long. Under 500 yards, not even going to play that long, so very reachable. I'm loving that balance. Oh, that had some meat behind it.
Frank, what's it going to take here on this approach at the par 5?
Well, some people might actually try and bounce it in between those 2 bunkers and run the ball up on the green, but personally, I'd try and actually take a hybrid or something with a little bit more loft and try and fly the ball. Take those 2 bunkers out of play.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Birdie try up next. Locked in on the read and the speed.
few more birdies like that, Rich, you never know, just might sneak placed on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. Frank, standing on the 6th tee and looking out at this golf course, I can't help but think that if you hit it offline here, you're going to be playing golf with the Billy Goats.
Yeah, you might actually turn into a billy goat come the end of the day, that's for sure. The huge elevation changes, once again, are apparent here at the 6th. Tis a dogleg to the right, not really a driver unless you want to sort of bring that creek into play or that little stream that cuts across. Second shot, a little bit uphill. Those bunkers are really where you shouldn't go. We all know that. And this green is anything other than flat. A fun-looking hole, too, and a fun hole to play.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Pure strike. Good result.
And that is close.
So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one.
And momentum all in his favor.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Well, everybody loves the short par 4, and here we have one, Frank, just 302 yards, the 7th hole.
And this hole is anything other than straightforward, Rich. Huge drop off at the front of the screen that is surrounded by water. So it's going to be a layup off the tee, really, to try and get the right yardage. This green is very, it's not very deep, but it's extremely wide. The hardest thing is to try and get a flat lie with whatever club you decide to hit off the tee and get the right yardage. Otherwise, that green actually might be a little elusive, even though this is a very short hole.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Now the approach shot to the 7th, and Frank, this one will get the player's attention.
It will. It'll be just a short iron in here, but a lot's going to depend on whether your lie is uphill, downhill, or if you manage to get it in the flat, then the shot becomes much easier. As you can see, the green's not very deep. So once again, be so precise with your yardage, because if you do, you'll be well rewarded here at 7.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. So one shot closer to the lead with that birdie. Frank, the 8th here at Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada is really the signature par 3, isn't it?
I'd go so far, Rich, to say this is a great par 3. Doesn't matter where it was played. The stream that sort of comes all the way down there and surrounds the left side of the screen makes this hole really daunting. Logic would say if you're going to miss the screen, obviously you'd miss it to the right, but it's just a beautiful hole. And then you put the fact that the canyon frames the whole hole itself. It's beautiful.
Well, it's obvious he is in complete command of his golf ball right now. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Even with that par, will drop down on the leaderboard.
Time to change gears. Birdie time.
Finishing up this front side here at the par 4 ninth, 390 yards. And what are we looking at, Frank?
Well, it looks relatively straightforward, but it's anything other than that. Decision time again. Do you lay it up into that wide area of the fairway? If you're a longer hitter and you are out here to have a little bit of fun, then maybe you want to take the head cover off because you get a little bit of an advantage if you can drive it over that last bunk on that right side, or at least take that out of play, because you're only going to have a short pitch in here.
Well, that sets up well for a chance at the green here at the ninth. So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Always nice to be comfortably inside that cut line. A wily golf instructor makes birdie. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back nine, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way. That's fine.
Players still fighting the strong winds out there today. Well, it is nice to have that one in your bag, to be able to hit it that long.
Well, that has to be at least 315 yards.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Sometimes you get breaks, and he got one right there.
Yeah, I guess the bunker was a little smaller than I thought it was. That looked doomed for that.
Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Starting to make a nice move. 5 under with that birdie for the tournament. We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself that. Try not to look at the canyon and the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder, hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. This hole is playing tough. Bogey here yesterday, now looking at bogey again.
Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
So they'll tap in. Well, a double bogey is really going to put a damper on things. That's obvious. From a par 3 to a par 5 here at the 12th. It measures 560 yards, a sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It's 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. These putts keep the round together. Wow, Frank, I did not expect that. Eagle. Now to the 13th hole, and, oh, I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill. But if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it.
Digs in, ready for the bunker shot.
Yeah, second shot here. Just try and aim a little bit behind that ball, an inch or two.
Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. Locked in on the read and the speed. Don't leave it short. Wow. So a tester from 4 feet. Those keep the round going, those par putts. Now to the 14th hole, and Frank, this is probably the best par 4 here at Wolf Creek.
Well, it's certainly the hole that they take the most photographs on, Rich, and you can see why. Great vantage point of the whole golf course. The hole's just sort of littered with bunkers down the left side, so you know where not to go once again. Go to the right side of that. Hole just keeps sort of hooking around that left side. It plays under 450 yards. It's fun. Just sort of draw it a little off the tee, draw it a little into the green, and you'll be fine. This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Pretty good result right there, considering
it looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
It really did.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
About 30 feet away. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Looks like he just misread that. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Now slipping back into a tie atop the leaderboard after that bogey.
It's scary. Looks like they found reverse gear. Not a good sign.
Gives up a shot, slides down into a tie for first after that bogey. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Had a birdie here yesterday in there close. Great opportunity for another one. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Excellent read for birdie to move to 5 under for the tournament. Now to the 16th hole as we get set for the finishing stretch. And Frank, what's the best way to play this relatively short par 4?
Somehow you've got to straighten the hole up in your mind's eye, Rich. Just look all the way across that canyon and look like the hole was built straight, because really that's the way it should be played. If you start looking left and turning it into a dog leg, then all of a sudden bad things can happen. So look straight at the green. That's your line. Just try and bisect those two fairway bunkers.
Those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Settles in over the putt. Right, that's what you want to do. Good lag putt.
Yeah, they can't all go in.
For the par. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. So 2 holes left to play. Now the final par 5 on the course, 562 yards, the 17th.
The drive looks relatively straightforward, and I say that because there's a little creek down there that obviously you have to stay short of. But that's the fun part. They want to keep you back in an area where you go, can I hit the second shot across the stream, across the water, and still keep it on the green? And the answer is, I don't know.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Now the second shot to the par 5. Oh, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
That one ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Well, that's what separates the good players from the great players, the ability to get it that close from that kind of lie. Goes to 6 under par for the tournament. What a display of golf. 18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you'd think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, something 230, 240 yards off the tee in that vicinity is going to leave you just a flick wedge into this green. It is a rather narrow green, but from that distance, you'd expect to hit it close.
Frank, this actually isn't the most difficult shot, is it, for a high-level player?
You got a clean lie, it's firm underneath. The biggest thing, though, really, you don't want to hit the path first. Clean strike, though. This is almost like hitting off the fairway. Should be safely on deck.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Just a couple of feet. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
There you have it. The second round is complete. Another solid effort put together, and it shows on the scorecard.
And after 2 rounds, you really start to see not only who's playing well, but who's consistent.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present third round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. All set to go, we take you to the first hole. Starting to round the turn now. 72 holes, it's a lot of golf. Third round about to get underway.
Yeah, played well through the first 2 days. Very much in contention. But it's still a new day.
Excellent opening tee shot. That ball's right in the fairway.
Second shot.
So this is the third shot to the par 5. That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, it's a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
Frank, you need to be a bit of a rock climber just to get to this second tee. 445-yard hole. What a view.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Frank, what do you think about this approach here at the second hole?
Once again, we're going to go a little bit back up the hill. Really, there's only that one bunker on the right. That shouldn't be in play. Green goes uphill and a little bit to the left. So you really got to try and make sure you work on the right distance there. Get that ball on the right tier where the flag is located.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a cross-country special. Pretty good stroke right there, just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh, I thought he had that. Just hammered that par putt, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he was thinking or what was going through his mind right there, but he better wake up in a hurry, because if this one doesn't go in, that score's going to rack up very quickly. In this situation, Rich, a bogey's not all that bad. Still has the lead.
Now on to the first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. That shot right there from that lie in the rough to not get that close, that's good. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Well, maybe next time.
Just a tap in to finish the hole.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Back to the tee here at Wolf Creek.
First, once again here, you can see all the problems around there if you do miss this fairway.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Now the approach here at the fourth, Frank.
Just a short iron really is all that's required across this green. You can see it has a raised front, but this is more like trying to parachute a shot onto the green there. And you should really be looking at a birdie opportunity there. Not much wind. Remember, you're playing in the thin air, so just judging that distance.
Getting set now over the putt.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Suddenly, we have a tie for the lead.
Yeah, bogey there. It's not the worst you could make on a hole like that.
Now to the par 5 fifth hole. Cut it over the ridge here, Frank.
Well, if you can, if you dare. And there is actually a stream here. I know we're in the middle of a desert, but if you can clear that stream, that's the main thing. This is a crazy-looking tee shot because it looks like you want to go down that left, down that canyon area, but if you don't know the exact distance you fly the ball, then you're going to be in lots and lots of problems. Those collection of 3 bunkers down the right side, as long as you can avoid that, then that second shot to this par 5, that's not overly long, it's just under 500 yards, is certainly reachable. Second shot will play uphill to a elevated green with, once again, 3 different levels. In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it. Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Straightforward pitch shot here, 35 yards. Frank, at this, the highest level, stroke play, really it seems to me to be all about not wasting shots because the margin for error is so razor thin. And from the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting. No mistake made there with the par.
Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, well, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dog leg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot played just a fraction uphill. And this green, it's got more humps than hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Ready for his third shot. Needs to hit this close. Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way.
This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Beautiful touch. Nice putt. Now on to the par 4 7th hole. Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and that's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth tee shot, and that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up just past those those bunkers on the right and the left. Get it down there on the flat. A little pitch you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and it's going to make that second shot that much harder.
Thank goodness, Frank, back on dry land here.
As long as this one avoids it.
Now on to his third shot after the last one went into the water. Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it. It's tough to take an extra club out of that lie, Rich, because it's always in the back of your mind. If you hit it properly, it's going to email the green.
He gave that one everything he had. I mean, really gouged it, and still, it was short. Well, that's what separates the good players from the great players. The ability to get it that close from that kind of lie. But you can't afford to give away strokes coming down the stretch. Frank, this is the kind of hole you like to